Hey, what's up, people? Firefist Ace here, and I'm here to talk about my top five One Piece moments. Okay, my top five One Piece moments. Okay, and I'm gonna start off with number five. Luffy, I think he was on Fisherman Island, and when Luffy actually uses Haki to take down 50,000 troops. Okay, Luffy took down 50,000 people just using the King conquering Haki alone. And to me, this shows, time skip and all, how much Luffy has progressed. How much he's progressed as a person, and how much he's progressed in power. And for Luffy's goal to actually become Pirate King, he's gonna need a substantial amount of power. Okay. And number four, I'm gonna have to go with the death of Ace. I remember when Akainu just finishes the dude. It was cold-heartedly finishes the dude, and Luffy showers of emotions runs through Luffy, and Luffy was screaming about for like what, like it was like Dragon Ball Z type stuff. Luffy was just screaming and crying. It was almost like he was powering up, and I remember that moment. It was kind of being like, for anime moment, I was like, this is kind of over the top. I was like, it's kind of not necessary. But then after rewatching it several times, I was like, wait, you know what? Ace was a very important person to Luffy, because Luffy, he always cherishes his nakama. He always cherishes his friends, and friends is what keeps Luffy going. He cherishes his crew. He cherishes the Straw Hat crew. So he should cherish his brother to a, equal level or even more, because, that's his brother. He grew up with the guy. So, the passing of Ace, it was unfortunate. It was an unfortunate event for Luffy. Luffy, after fighting in Marineford, after fighting all of these opponents, it all comes down to a futile effort. He not only lost a brother, he kind of lost himself along that process. So that comes in at number four. And number three, I'm gonna have to go with probably, I think it was the first episode. Excuse me, people, I really don't know, but probably the first episode when Shanks actually saves Luffy from the bandits. Shanks saves Luffy, and I remember when one of the bandits pointed a gun at Shanks' head, and he was like, "Risk your life on it. This isn't a kid's game." And then Lucky Roo kills the bandit, and it was like a blitz speed, and the bandits, they're still talking mess, and then Ben Beckman, he's like, you know what, I'll be enough to handle this. Whacks the hell out of the bandits, and he says, you're gonna have to bring way more than like a couple of, I forgot what he said. He said you're gonna have to bring something, but it was like a warship, I guess. I think it was a warship. He said you're gonna have to bring a warship if you want to actually fight us. And then Shanks saves Luffy from the Sea King, and we actually saw, I don't know, we actually probably saw a glimpse of his Haki, and it was great. By just staring at the Sea King runs away, and Shanks, he saves Luffy, and then Luffy's crying over the fact that Shanks lost the arm, and then Shanks, he embraces Luffy. He's like, you know what, it's okay. It's okay. It was all for you. So that was a very touching moment. And number two, I'm gonna have to go with the death of Whitebeard. I didn't actually care for the actual death, but more of what he said at the end. There's a series of flashbacks, and then there's a flashback with Roger. He asks, you know, do you want to know where One Piece is? And I think Whitebeard, he actually turns down the offer. He's like, you know what, it's okay. And then we don't get to see the rest of the flashback. And then Whitebeard, he says at the end, Whitebeard, he says at the end, One Piece is real. One Piece is real. He screams it out. And then he's like, you know, the world government, you guys are trying to avoid the fight that will encompass the whole world. So Whitebeard, his death foreshadows something bigger. And that's what I really liked about his death. And coming in at number one, I'm gonna have to go with Shanks again. For number one, Shanks single-handedly stops the war at Marineford. He's like, nope. He's like, nope, no more war, just stop it. And this makes me wonder how powerful Shanks actually is, because when he boarded Whitebeard's ship, his haki alone, leaking out, his haki alone was destroying the ship. His haki alone, and some of the crew members were actually passing out. And this leads me to believe, you know, how powerful is Shanks? You know, I want to know how powerful Shanks is. But anyway, when he comes in, stops the war, he probably uses Armament Haki to stop Akeunu's Magma Fist, and Akeunu's just sweating, and he's just sweating and shit. And then Shanks is sitting there looking calm. And then Blackbeard is like, you know, you've come, Shanks, you've come. And then Shanks, he says, if anyone's gonna do any more fighting, you fight with us. And then nobody did absolutely shit. Nobody didn't move an inch. They were like, no, you know, we're not crazy enough. We're not going to fight red-haired Shanks, the Yonko. We're not going to fight him. And then Shanks, he says, you know, what about it, Teacher? You still want to go one more round? And then Teacher's like, nah, you know, F that, nah. We'll fight you another day. And then I remember how just badass, you know, the Marines, they didn't actually phase with Whitebeard, but you know, Shanks come in and all of a sudden, yeah, you know what? It is probably a good idea to stop the war. And you know, I remember it was epic. It was epic in anime. In anime history, to me, it was epic. So, you know, that's it for me, my top 5 moments in One Piece. Hey, let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Fire for the safety. I'm out.